Do not use Gemini to edit your product photo or actually any photo in general. Let me give you one reason why right now Gemini is not the best tool for editing a picture. So I have this picture of a man riding his scooter. Actually, this is not the original picture anymore. I basically used Gemini to make this photo look a bit more attractive by changing the color, adding a little bit of background and sky, etc. But look at the texture of the road. It's not exactly clear, and you can tell that there is a lot of smudging or something's missing here. It's not like it doesn't feel like a real raw texture. Now let's compare that to the original photo. This is what the actual image look like. You can tell that the texture is a bit more 3D and it's a bit more real compared to the one that has been recreated by Gemini. So this is definitely not what the raw texture should look like. It is just not right, and I would say Gemini is the worst when it comes to editing some details or maintaining the details from the picture. And you may be asking, wait a minute, isn't that Gemini is now using the Imagen 4 model, which is the best image model for creating a picture? Well, you're right, but the keyword here is to create a picture. If you want to edit a picture, then this model is actually not being used. So this is actually not clear because Google actually did not publicly communicate that what model that is being used by Gemini. We know that it is using Imagen 4 model right now, maybe Imagen 5 in the future, I don't know, but basically it is Imagen 4 in the Gemini app or the Gemini website. But when you are editing a picture, it is not using Imagen 4 anymore. It is using the Gemini 2.0 Flash image generation, which is a few months old now. So it's still new, but it is no longer the best model today. And it is actually stated in the developer documentation of Imagen 4 that right now the latest version of Imagen 4 model cannot be used to edit a picture. So there is no image-based editing for Imagen 4 model, and in fact it actually says that product image editing is not supported on the Imagen 4 model. So you cannot rely on Gemini to edit your product photo, and it is very important because usually product photo contains some text and you don't want AI to mess up all the text, the info on the product. Now let me show you one example why I don't want to recommend Gemini at the moment, and instead I'll show you some other free AI tools that you could use to edit your product photo. So there is this picture of a Neutrogena product, and you can tell that it is actually quite detailed, like there are some text even though it's very small, but it's more or less readable. And here I'm asking Gemini to add a background, and this is the result. This is the generation that has been created by Gemini, and it is not using Imagen 4 model. Imagen 4 model is not this bad at creating picture. Even the logo, the name of the product itself is not quite clear, even though the text is actually very big. It's the biggest text, but AI, or in this case Gemini 2.0 Flash image generation model, is not able to maintain the detail of the text. Now let's compare that to ChatGPT with its GPT-4o image generation. You can tell that the text is still quite clear, still readable, even though some smaller text might not be quite right and some Arabic text here is missing, but at least the name of the product itself and some other bigger texts are usually more readable. They are being maintained by ChatGPT. So in this case, you can tell that Gemini is not as good as ChatGPT for editing a product photo. And you can also use other tools like Black Forest Labs. They just released the Flux One Context Pro model, which is arguably even better than ChatGPT for editing a picture, especially when there are a lot of details, especially text. You can look at it and you can tell that the text is still very much readable, although this section might not be quite readable. But the other one, like the logo and the color, the overall lighting is just very good. It's very realistic compared to ChatGPT. So yeah, this could be a great alternative. And even the open source version of Flux One Context, which is the dev version, is much better than Gemini at maintaining the text of the picture. So Definitely do not use Gemini. It's not the best model at the moment, and even the AI Studio version is using the Gemini 2.0 Flash image generation. It is not using Imagen 4 for editing a picture. For creating a picture, yes, it is using Imagen 4, but for editing a picture, it is still using an older model, which is not up to the standard that we have today, like the ones in ChatGPT, in Flux One Context, and the Flux One Context Pro. So yeah, you can use some other tools other than Gemini, and I'll leave the links of these free tools in the video description in case you want to use it to edit your product photo. So that's basically my simple PSA about Gemini, but I'm hopeful that Gemini will be improved and it will be able to create a better picture, edit a picture with maintaining the details better than other AI tools. I'm hoping for that. But anyway, I hope you find this video to be useful, and I'll see you on my next video. Have a great day.